Hey guys, this is 97 LEGO Mini with another custom minifigure showcase video, and today we have two figures from Doctor Strange. This is I believe it's the 14th installment in the MCEU, and if you guys want to know what I think about this movie, stick till the end of the video so I can give you my quick non-spoiler review. It might take like 2 minutes or something. Yeah, so we have Doctor Strange and Kaecilius, and I am planning on making more. In fact, I have like plans for like Karl Mordo, the Ancient One, and Wong. Wait, why do I put this? And so yeah, and I just want to get this out of the way real quick, like I always do. I do not sell these figures because these figures do take a long time for me to make, and I can't really mass produce them all by myself. And number two, these minifigures are based off of my interpretation. I try to put in my own ideas and stuff into it. And number three, I make minifigures. I only make the things I personally want to make, and not based off other people's suggestions, because I want people to focus more on what's going on here rather than what's going to happen in the future. And yeah, so that's pretty much it, and let's just continue with this showcase video, and hopefully Stephen Strange didn't alter time or reality during this showcase. You guys will probably know what I'm talking about. Our first minifigure we have is Stephen Strange, Doctor Strange, Mr. Doctor, whatever you want to call him. And to start off, this is a Superman hairpiece. All I really did, I did not sand it or anything because I think the hair is just perfect the way it is. I painted it brown. I painted like the gray streaks. I painted a solid color. I could have like washed it. Now that I think about it, it might have been a lot more effective if I just washed gray over it, but whatever. I kind of like it like in a solid tone. And with the face, yeah, this face is painted by me, but not fully painted. The eyes aren't actually not fully painted. This was actually the Thor headpiece from the Avengers Age of Ultron set. I just erased the mouth and everything, and the cheekbones, and just like painted like my own little design. And you can tell that it's a Thor head because look at the back. Yeah, it's Thor. And for the cape, now this. Alright, about the cape. What this cape is, it's like the if you guys know like the original red, like the new fabric that LEGO uses, let's say this is it. What I did, I cut off these holes, like this part off, and then I bend it, and then I super glued the sides, so that way it will maintain the shape. And what I did for the top part here, I got extra piece of fabric and glued around the edges. It used to be a little bit shorter before, but I decided to make it a little bit longer because I feel like it's too short. Now for the Eye Agamotto, it's actually sculpted, fully painted, and I got a thread. And originally I wanted to make the Eye Agamotto a separate piece, but that did not work out because when I tried, the thing is, the Eye Agamotto does not rest on his torso as much as I want to, so I end up gluing it onto his torso. Now, like always, like I've done a lot of fabric work on my figures for over a year, especially gluing fabric on a torso. And yeah, so that's what pretty much what I did for Stephen Strange. The same tactic I use as always as most of my minifigures that requires this. And yeah, and what I did for the belt, I used E-tape, and I just cut up different like individual strands of E-tape all around to represent different belts. I sculpted like the sling ring he has here. I don't know what that is, but it's just there. And I also like sculpted like this this round metal thing, and apparently he has one on his back as well, so that's what I did, and it's a little bit squished right now, so if I want to, let me fix that a bit. Apologies, this thing was actually accidentally caught between his legs. And so we have another E-tape that comes down around, goes around the tunic, and yes, and you can remove his torso. So if I carefully remove it, you can see he has like I glued in like these fabric on the sides, and then you can see the fabric is glued here, and you have to like carefully make sure you place his legs on the right place. That's the wrong way, so that way it looks like it's all seamless. And I did paint the legs myself, and gave like I decided to give like different shadings of blue because I think it's kind of required. And for his arms, what I did, I used E-tape, and I basically wrapped it around his arm, and I used random strands to represent like the little sort of I won't say maybe like little like braidings around it. So that's what I did. And for his hand, I decided to like paint like scar marks for his hand. Unfortunately, one got scraped off because of his power glowing things. which is fine, but they're supposed to represent the scars he has on his hands, because we all know Stephen Strange's story. Got in a car accident, ruined his hands, and it's a career ending. And yeah, I painted all these details on his cape as well. I sculpted these little bits that represent like these, something that just holds on, to the side. And if you want to look at his back, here's the back. And yeah, those are all painted by me. And now for his power pieces, originally I thought about using Legos, but after watching the movie, I noticed like the powers, it seems like they have, just like paint, they have layers. So that's what I did. I pretty much got like a Lego stud. I used plastic to cut this main circle, and I dropped that. And what I did, I cut up more plastic pieces so that way I can make like squares, rectangles, different shapes, and that way you can see it kind of looks like it's levitating, it's like floating, it looks like it's protruding out. That's what I did for these power pieces, and I think using these, and plus in the right accurate color, is a lot better than using the one that Lego has, which I will show you right here. I just think it's a lot better choice than just using these. Sure, if you guys don't want to use plastic and just want to stick to more of a Lego feel, you could paint orange around this, and it might end up the same result. I just like to take things a step further, even if it risks something that it wouldn't look like Lego. So that's pretty much Doctor Strange, and we can move on to our next minifigure, Kaecilius. Kaecilius wasn't the figure I was planning to make before, but after seeing the movie, I thought, he's not a bad villain. We just don't see him enough in the movie. And that's really one of my main complaints in the movie, pretty much. And to start off, this is like the Will Turner hairpiece, because it definitely works for Kaecilius. What I did, I scraped it, I made a roll of Procreate and cut these cylinders to represent his braidings. I'm not sure if these braidings are accurate. I only saw the back of his head only once, and this is based off of memory, but I believe it looks something like this. He has like 2 on the side, just 1 of each side, 2 in the middle, and he has like a gold band or something. I may be wrong. Who knows? This was based off memory after all. And for his head, I have to credit my friend Jerk Figs for this, because he thought of this idea at first when my friends were into making Doctor Strange customs, and back then I wasn't interested. What I did for his Kaecilius' eyes, it's pretty complex. I got a normal Lego head, and I used an X-Acto knife and carved out the insides of the eye, avoiding the actual eye itself. So if I get like a ordinary minifigure head real quick, like here's a Doctor Strange head, so basically pretty much the area around the eye, I scraped that off with X-Acto knives. Because in the movie, it looks like he has a cracked skin, and it looks like it's like cracked, and you're looking like inside his like the flesh and stuff, but it's like covered with this weird, trippy, magical galaxy space stuff. And so yeah, and doing that adds a lot of depth to it. And all these like scrape X-Acto marks, I washed that with black paint, so that way the black paint can fill those cracked lines. And I washed it with silver, and I add some purple paint around it, and I had to like repaint some of his eye into black, and I had to repaint these dots into my own shade of white, because it didn't look even. So I had to like fix that, and I try to make sure I'm painting and making it look like Mads Mikkelsen as possible, and that really is all with the mouth and these cheekbones on the side. So yeah, and I had to paint like that tattoo he has. And just like Doctor Strange, like what I said earlier, his cloak is like pretty much going to use the same purpose. So you can remove it, so that way you can separate it, and his torso and his legs are all covered in fabric. So I painted like the normal, like dark gray, and what I did for the fabric, I made sure it overlaps his shoulder, so it looks like it overlaps his shoulder just like how it is in the movie. I did not do that for Stephen Strange though. I wish I could have done that. And I sculpted some stuff. I gave him like a fabric belt. I gave him a thread for this, and yeah. And continuing on, what I also did. Sometimes the thread can get like in the way sometimes. And I gave like different shades of yellow, because I do realize he does have a different shade of yellow on his cloak. And I painted his feet, painted the back. I did the same thing with Doctor Strange with the E-tape for his like wrist, and I have adding like a little fabric to act like what do you call them, like bands and stuff. And yeah, and so that's pretty much the everything in this figure is pretty much self-explanatory. And the last thing about this figure I want to talk about is his this thing. Like his main weapon of choice he used during the movie is like this clear sword thing that he makes out of some sort of he just like makes this thing out of thin air, and that's what it is. It's pretty much like a clear rod piece, and I super glued like these plastic piece, and that's how I made his weapon of choice. So that's it for Kaecilius, and there's not much to say other than this figure is actually one of the decent figures I made, and he's not a terrible villain. I don't feel he's decent. He's not that bad. I just wish he was in the movie a little bit more. And you do understand his motivations at least. So that's it, guys, and let's conclude this showcase video. Actually, wait, I just noticed something. Kaecilius actually has 2 strands, like on his belt. You can see, yeah, there's 2 strands. The reason why you didn't see the extra strand because it got hidden right under his torso when I tried to put his legs back together. So yeah, he does have 2 strands of whatever of thread on his torso, like how it's supposed to be in the movie. So yeah, now we can finally conclude the video. So that's it for the showcase video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, leave a like and a comment down below. Follow me on my other social media sites, such as I'm mostly active on Instagram, not so much on anything else because mostly on Twitter and Facebook and Flickr. I really got to start posting stuff on Flickr, by the way. That reminds me. So yeah, just follow me on those social media sites so you can see what I'm up to. And subscribe to my second channel because I do post vlogs and show you guys my work in progress and what I've been doing outside of YouTube. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, and Doctor Strange, I'll give you my quick thoughts, and don't worry, this won't contain any spoilers, and because the movie's even just in case if you somehow haven't seen the movie, what's wrong with you? Go see it, please. This movie is great. I really like the movie. I certainly love the visual effects. I do like Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. Kaecilius isn't the most. I mean, yeah, he's not the greatest Marvel villain, but I think he's the better one we have so far, and that's really saying something. I mean, as a villain in general, he's not that great, but at least you understand what he's doing, so I do give him credits for that. Apparently Mads Mikkelsen is a really good actor, but it really doesn't look like they used him to his full potential, because he sounds flat. And yeah, but at least he isn't Malekith or anything like that, but he is certainly no Loki or Alexander Pierce, or even Red Skull, which I think those villains are actually pretty good. Story-wise, it's a good story. I mean, it's generic, but there are some creative things they've done. This is probably the best solo movie we had since Iron Man. Well, obviously, for me, Iron Man is still my #1 favorite solo Marvel film in the MCU. Doctor Strange may come in second, and then it'll be like Captain America: First Avenger. I honestly think Captain America: First Avenger is a pretty good movie, and it's pretty underrated. So yeah, anything else? Oh yeah, my only problem with the movie is the pacing, and I mean, the movie's only 2 hours long, I just wish they added 20 minutes, which either explore more about the villain, because that's what Marvel needs to do, explore more on the villain more, because the villain is just as interesting as their main character, and they should have shown more training section. You just do a training montage of Stephen Strange learning magic, because it seems like after when he learned one thing, he's somehow really good at the rest. I just don't think that pacing works well, especially when you get to his origin of how he learned the mystic arts. What was his story in the beginning as a surgeon to that transition just happened way too fast. I just wish they took more time on, because I want to see more of that, more than the visuals itself. Don't get me wrong, the visuals are amazing, but I would really love to grow with them, just so establish them as a character, but it seemed like they just do it too fast. But you could argue, well, they did that because we all know the typical Marvel formula, so it's like you don't need to expand more on that, so that's why you got to get to it fast. I mean, sure, but to me, I think it's really interesting to see more of the character. That's pretty much my quick opinion on Doctor Strange. I gave it a rating before my Instagram story, but then there are some people who get butthurt about my rating. Because they take ratings personally. It's like they don't care whether I say the movies, whether the good things I say about this movie, because all they care about is the numbers. So if I have to give this not a rating, I'll say this is a decent film. That's all. It's a fun, decent film. That's all. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's my quick opinion on Doctor Strange. Hope you guys like these customs, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac with another custom minifigure showcase video, and today we... oh god damn it, Steven.